Hello, everybody. Scott Golden here with the Golden Opportunities Coaching and Pro Wrestling Logic YouTube channels. Welcome to those of you who are new. Welcome back to those of you seasoned veterans of what we do around here. This is the WCW Review Series for September 7th, 1991, featuring Paulie dangerously hosting a segment of the Control Center in which he discusses Halloween Havoc main event world champion Lex Luger and Ron Simmons. During the segment, there's footage shown of Luger match, and Luger is in the dressing room door after the Clash of Champions and the contract signing later in the night, including WCW Top 10 rankings as well. And there is a regaining the championships for Arn Anderson, Larry Zbyszko, 2 days earlier, including footage of Abdullah the Butcher coming out of a giant gift box to attack Sting, and Cactus Jack attacking Sting at the Clash of the Champions. Most recently, we go to Todd Champion Firebreaker Chip versus the U.S. Tag Team Champions, Michael Hayes and Jimmy Dim Garvin, to win the championship 1603 when Champion pins Garvin with a back elbow to the head as Garvin attempts DDT on Chip. It's certainly an attempt to get a new tag team over. Obviously, the Freebirds at the time, a major force. Even the Freebird name a major force after several years for Michael Hayes. Then we kind of see Michael Hayes come back in, Firebreaker Chip and his tag team partner, Todd Champion. Ultimately, the U.S., the Patriots, I guess, is what we were at the time, 1991. Different time, certainly could get away with patriotic and nationalistic gimmicks at the time. I think they're stupid now. Actually, I always thought they were. If you're trying to be a worldwide product, why do you need nationalistic pride in your wrestling gimmicks? But anyway, basically, punches that jump around hard shots by the benefit of the champion run there, and again, kind of some easy tag offs. The U.S. Tag Team Champions, the Freebirds, are in control for a good bit of the match, although the babyfaces are allowed to shine here. That's the idea of the match. Behind the match, as it is the babyfaces to get their shine a little bit. The Freebirds do manage to get snapped over pretty quickly, and again, we kind of get a cutoff of this particular match concept. Hayes manages a couple of punches, kicks, basic stuff around the way, and ultimately manages to do what he can, where he can, in the simplest forms. Irish whip off the ropes, and needless to say, Jimmy Garvin getting things pretty basic, as it were. Garvin manages to get a attempted pin attempt. Again, the match going 16 minutes, probably not necessary. Hayes on the outside of the ring doing a good bit of jibber jabbering, and again, new tag team champions, as it were. Diamond Stud up next. Diamond Stud basically talking about being the guy. Scott Hall, aka your Diamond Stud, here, as most would know. And again, we kind of go in a very basic direction there. Then we go to that being an enhancement match. Obviously, Hall kind of does the removal of the pull-away tights. Scott Hall, a.k.a. the Diamond Stud, choke bomb on his adversary here, trying to keep things as, I don't even know that I'd say light, but hard chops for Hall. Hall also manages to get a couple of, I guess you'd say, basic stuff around there. Kenny Kendall is the opponent, 216. Hall wins with the Diamond Death Drop, a.k.a. the Razor's Edge. And, he gets a couple of really basic maneuvers there. The Control Center hyping the upcoming pay-per-view, and ultimately, obviously, Paul Heyman doing the announcing is a interesting hype piece. Then we go to the next in series of matches, which happens to coincide with being I believe, 6-man tag team match out next. Z-Man Tom Zink out there. I believe he is your television champion, as it were, at the time, right before losing to Steve Austin in a not too distant future, I believe. Rick Jones is his opponent of the day. Jones, not exactly a major challenge there. Zink coming in pretty basic. Zink also managing to get a couple of drop kicks up under the chin and hits crossbody Thomas. Zink easily forced to be a babyface. Could have easily been a top heel at the time. I've heard many people around at the time often wonder why Zink wasn't given the heel run, probably because of his looks, but at the same time, then we see Zink trying to pair off and admit that he'd like to go at it with Lex Luger. Luger turning his back on all the fans. That's a pretty major thing. Oz is your next guy out here. Oz, of course, Kevin Nash. Oz stepping over the top rope and going at it with an enhancement talent here. Obviously, Nash only having a couple of pro matches at this point, September of 91, and the enhancement talent trying to carry him through doesn't exactly get too far. Nash, aka Oz, manages to hit a couple of forearm sidewalk slam and eventually hits the what becomes the Vinny Vegas roll of the dice thing here. Kevin Sullivan up next. Kevin Sullivan back kind of without a great deal of direction. Kind of doing the Taskmaster thing, although not really having a feud here. I think this is a couple of years after the Varsity Club thing, so Sullivan does have a good bit of market value in the area at the time, but not really known where you're going with him, for lack of better terminology. Sullivan also lots of punch kick, basic stuff, and eventually the double stomps that lead to the victory for him. Then we go to another in series of matches. Larry Zbyszko out with Arn Anderson. Zbyszko, of course, having a tag team of the Enforcers, Zbyszko and Anderson, in an enhancement match here. They are the former tag team champions, although I believe this is the show where they re-show the regaining of the championships. Hector Guerrero, actually one of the enhancement talents here, and managing to get brawled with. Anderson takes him around the steel post, trying to keep him going in a continual basis. And then there is a lineup for a match between Lex Luger and Barry Windham that was a pretty big deal at the time. Actually, no, not very. Kind of grinding him into the canvas, and again, Windham takes a couple of shots. We actually see this in follow-up in a couple of runs there. Hughes managing to get the brawl. Barry Windham gets saved by Ron Simmons. Simmons kind of gets as a current of that, kind of gets the opportunity to be the guy to challenge Lex Luger at the WCW run there. Danny Davis gets in the ring with Sting post that match. Davis kind of looking kind of lost here. Sting doing a bit of very basic politicking. Sting also kind of trying to get even with Cactus Jack among other people for the last little while. This match pretty basic. Sting ends up winning, obviously, with the Stinger Splash, super basic maneuvers, and ultimately Stinger Splash, Scorpion Deathlock. Sting still your top WCW babyface in 1991. Luger's turn kind of catches people off guard, and there is a confrontation between Paul Heyman and Sting post-match. Sting also talks about wanting to get the U.S. Championship back, also talks about wanting to be in the best shape of his career. Then we see a Johnny B. Bad deal here. Johnny B. Bad been around only a little while. Johnny B. Bad, of course, seconded by none other than the wonder that is Teddy Long. Chris Sullivan is the main opponent for Bad in this particular endeavor. Not going to be a match that needs to go too far. Obviously, Bad gets the takeover and some pretty basic maneuvers here. Johnny B. Bad eventually winning the match with the, uh, you know, kiss that don't miss style punch. Bad basically stretches the match out much longer than it needs to go. Then we go to I believe Tug Taylor PN News segment. I know PN News is the main focus of the next segment. PN News in a enhancement talent match doing the rap gimmick yo baby yo punch kick, a very basic match there, and PN News obviously not wanting to take any backward steps, hits a couple of clotheslines, hits a bear hug and a belly to belly suplex, and then a big splash from the ropes on the inside, closing the show, rapping, which I'm sure thrilled the heck out of Jim Ross. Anyway, we will close and be back right after this.